we live in a society where people think that a leader is perfect.
Yes.
We live in a society where people think that as far as you are up there leading, you shouldn't make mistakes, you should be perfect. Wisdom, it's something that you learn as you grow. The wisdom you displayed yesterday, based on your position yesterday, trust me, may not be adequate for the next position that God is taking you to. Learning is part of leadership. How will you learn if you don't own up or accept your error? All right. So we've had a solemn moment. I will try as much as possible to pick up the vibes. I think that's how we call it. Yes. It's been long I've been behind the camera, so this is surreal to me. So I will beg that you forgive me, right? Because I'm still now getting used to it once more. All right. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the podcast, right? From now, we are going to rebrand the podcast, so it's not going to be what we know it to be exactly. We've talked about relationships in the past, and then we are picking up a series on leadership. We would also pick up a series of faith, a series of personal development, a series of purpose discovery also, as the Lord will help us. So stay tuned. There are a lot of exciting activities that I know would relate to you in a certain way, right? So stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, like, and follow, right? That's that. And then today I am joined by very awesome persons in the studio. For me, I'm very excited, right? I'm super excited, right? And I feel fulfilled a bit, right? Not just because we are discussing something that is very personal to my heart, but because I have a principal that is seated in the studio today. So I feel very fulfilled because what we're talking about now, right? I learned a lot of it, like foundationally, even up until where I am, right? All of the knowledge I have about the subject, various aspects of the subject that we'll be discussing today, I learned by watching his person, right? He's no other person than Mr. UBA, as they call him. They call him Mr. UVA, yes. So, and then for him also to be here, this was very impromptu for him. I had the child in mind for a long time, and then I just bumped into him and told him, this is it. And because of the kind of person he is and because of the kind of heart that he has, right, he tried as much as possible to pull all of the strings that he could pull to, for him to be here seated, tonight, right? So I count it a very great privilege to have you seated, and I feel very deeply honored that you are here, and then we get to discuss this subject. Thank you for training me. Thank you for teaching me.
Thank you,
I celebrate you, sir.
Thank you,
so we'll have him speak in a minute. Oh, yes, and then you will understand why I'm appreciating so deeply in a minute, right? Because you will now get to see from whence I am speaking from. And then we have Afiniki. Also, if we had much time, director's already looking at me like, you have like 15 minutes. So that's why we had to end. That's why we had to cut that session that we had at the beginning, very short. But then you can follow Afiniki also. She would also be releasing a couple of these. I'm pushing her into prophecy now. Yes, and then we have Osika Faith in the building, right? Yeah, the person that always loves to run away from leadership. I've put her in the spot a lot of times as regards to things around leadership, and I'm happy that they could join us here. We grew up together. This is like 10 years now, right?
Yes.
This is like 10 years in the city of Abuja. So I'm very privileged that I have my family. I can call them my family right here in the studio tonight, right? All right. So without further ado, I think we should now double click on the subject and why we are currently seated here today. So we just want to jump on and bounce off ideas as regards leadership. There's a lot of misconceptions. There are lots of myths around the subject of leadership. Our job today is not to combat all of that. No, far from that. We just want to dial into the foundation of that subject as much as we can, and with the time that we have on our hands today. So there are a lot of people who think that leadership is about titles. A lot of people think leadership is about position. A lot of people think leadership is about just being at the helm of affairs and calling the shots and making decisions over the lives of certain other persons, right? So we pick it up from what do we think is the hardest form of leadership, right? What do we think is the hardest form of leadership? Or before we even get there, what is leadership? What is leadership? Right. Faith, I would like you to pick up on this. Right. You're smiling already, so it's like you have something that you have us know. Right. So for you, what is leadership?
Um, for me, leadership is can be summarized in two words. That is responsibility and servanthood.
Wow.
Yes, responsibility and servanthood. That's it.
Okay, responsibility and
Servanthood.
servanthood. Two
Yes.
words.
Yes.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Right,
Thank
whilst we
you.
progress. How about you, Afiniki?
Okay, leadership. You know, most time when you say leadership, everybody is saying a group of persons, and then one person is there telling them what to do, what not to do, and all. But personally, I feel there is more to leadership than that, right? Leadership is the ability to say no when it's supposed to be no, the ability to choose a right over what is accepted. Do you get what is popular? To choose what is right over what is popular. That's what I feel leadership is.
All right. Leadership is the ability to choose what is right over what is popular. All right, we'll go over to Mr. U to the B to the A, right? So we'd like to know, sir, what leadership means to you, first and foremost, and then secondly, we'd like you to also pick up on what you think is the hardest form of leadership in all of your experience.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to say I'm grateful. Thank God for this privilege and opportunity to share ideas. And of course, you know that wisdom is something that you can never have enough of it. And so it is with ideas, so it is with perceptions. And it varies from one person to the other. Now, when you talk about leadership, different people will have different ideas, different dispositions about leadership. But it also has to do with our environment and belief system. But if we want to talk about leadership in a more holistic aspect, I would say that leadership is the ability to influence, the ability to motivate, the ability to guide people to a particular maybe vision to achieve a particular purpose. That's leadership. And it varies, like you rightly said. And also, when it comes to the hardest aspect of leadership, you discover that it will also vary from person to person. What will be difficult for you as a leader may not be difficult for her, may not be the same with me. Until you have an experience in leadership, or you learn from somebody that has an experience in leadership, so you can now bring all those experiences together to form your own opinion. However, on a personal note, I think that one of the most difficult aspects of leadership is what I call personal limitation and doubt. Why did I say that? You see, we live in a society where people think that a leader is perfect.
Yes, yes.
We live in a society where people think that as far as you are up there leading, you shouldn't make mistakes, you should be perfect. But I tell you for free, leadership is not a walk in the park. It's not. It's tough. It's difficult. Now imagine you battling with your own personal limitations. You have, every one of us has his or her own weaknesses.
Yes.
But as a leader, you're expected to stomach yours, pretend as if it doesn't exist, so that you achieve that common goal and motivate and influence people. So for me, it's a very difficult aspect of leadership. I'm going to give you an example from the Bible. You discover a man called Moses. Great. Very great. He did all the miracles. God, entrusted so much power. He did so much miracles that at some point the children of Israelites could not even behold him, his face. They couldn't look at him because he was like a go-between them and God. That same man, at some point in his leadership position, cried before God. Why? Come to think of it, he did so much miracles.
Children of Israel show him shaking.
Oh,
They show
he
him
did.
weak.
Now, Pharaoh then was a very tough, hard man.
Yes.
But he conquered Pharaoh. He did all manner. And God used him to liberate the children of Israelites. But they got to a point,
He broke down.
he broke down. His limitations showed up. He cried. God had to turn to him and say, my friend, why are you crying to me? Why, go back. He saw the one that he hasn't seen before. There was River Jordan behind him. The armies of Pharaoh was coming. He couldn't take it anymore. He broke down. But at that point, the children of Israelites didn't understand. They felt that this man, you should give us, you have solution, go and bring solution. What of David? His own men wanted to stone, they've carried stone to kill him. So you discover that conquering your own personal limitations and doubts, as a leader, at some point you doubt, you sure say this thing will work. It's a difficult task. Very difficult. It takes grace of God. It takes, the wisdom of God to still remain in that leadership position where so much is expected from you. And you smile.
And we wear a smile.
You wear a smile. Oh. Nobody expected you to frown or even to show that you are doubting whether this thing will work. Do you get my point? So for me, that's one of the most. There are other hardest aspects of leadership, but for me, you see that one is tough. I tell you my own personal experience. I've been privileged by God to lead both within the church circle and outside the church circle, both in the corporate world. Okay? There are times I went back home. I cried. Do you get my point? I cried. In fact, I told God I know to do again. Do you get it? And it's so ironic that sometimes people will not even understand.
Yes.
They won't understand. Or they know that this guy get this thing done. You are just at a point where, or at a place where people are looking up to you. Nobody cares. So it's a very difficult task. Do you get it? So for me, another aspect of leadership that is tough, that is hard, I've also experienced it, is taking tough decisions.
Okay, well, taking tough decisions. Okay, we're going to come to that in a minute, right? But can we piggyback a bit from your previous answer where you talked about how that people have this perspective that their leaders should be perfect. Now, in the case of a leader, is admitting failure or weakness as a leader, is it a form or is it a virtue of good leadership?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Can we double click on that, sir?
You know why? Do you know God called Moses a meek man, the meekest man on earth? It's not because he didn't have faults. He made mistakes. Leadership is about knowing where your strength stops. Accepting that, look, this decision I took was wrong. Do you get it? Because pride will make you see yourself as incorrigible, somebody that you know it all. And so you shouldn't make mistakes. Do you get? But truth be told, you are human. And so when you accept your wrong decisions, your flaws, your mistakes, you are now calling for an external help. For those of us who are within the space of Christianity, you know that you cannot do it without the help of the Holy Spirit. And so, if you do not accept your limitations, your mistakes, own up to them, you won't get help. Nobody is going to help you. You are just there affirming what you are not. And it's common with a lot of leaders. Please accept that, oh, this decision I took, it was wrong. It also opens you up to trying other methods of doing something. Do you get it? Nobody knows it all. Wisdom, it's something that you learn as you grow. The wisdom you displayed yesterday, based on your position yesterday, trust me, may not be adequate for the next position that God is taking you to. And wisdom demands that you accept, I was wrong. Learning is part of leadership. How will you learn if you don't own up or accept your error? You see, we live in a society, for instance, in the political space in this country, with all due respect to them, where our leaders, they have this assumed, confidence, assumed disposition of nobody can tell me what to do.
Oh.
They are not
You're right,
accountable.
saying, I'm always right.
They're always right. They're not accountable. And that is why we have, the kinds of problems we have everywhere. Do you get? So if as a leader, when you come to a point where you realize that, look, I don't know it all. I may be wrong. I stand to be corrected. And you surround yourself with people that will not be just praise singers. These days you have a lot of praise singers.
Yes,
There are
man.
people that will
Oh,
tell
yes,
you the
man.
truth.
Yes, man.
But this you don't mind them. You are right, oh, don't mind them. And you are sinking. So you need to have people that will look at you in the eyes and say, what you did was wrong.
Yes.
Let me give you an instance. When I left school, I had, because of my position in my family, okay, as a fourth son, my mom will always tell me something. Because there's this, I'm one kind of person that if I don't have this to give, I wouldn't tell you I don't have it. Because my emotions, my compassionate heart will not want you to feel bad or hurt. So if my kid sister or somebody that is related to me comes to ask me for something, I will just say, okay, I will do it. Do you get? And then the person will be suffering in silence, expecting me to do something. Meanwhile, I don't have it. I will just pretend and just... I didn't know people were suffering. They were hurting. My mom discovered it and called me one day and said, listen, please own up to what you don't have. Own up to what you cannot do. If you make any mistake, please tell them that this promise I made was an error, so that it will help you, put you off pressure, and they too will understand that this guy, he doesn't have it. You get the point? So when I learned that thing, because I was working and my brother or my sister will come back from school and say, bros, I say, no verse, I no get that. I don't have it. If I get it, I will give to you. So pressure off, the person is also relaxed.
Yeah.
You too, you're relaxed.
Do you get the point? So it's part of leadership. You just have to own up. You just have to, express yourself in the area of what you cannot do. It's only, even Christ himself, a time came in his ministry that his disciples were not even sure. They were not sure. But because of his leadership position and style, he will always tell them, okay, this thing, let's do it this way. Does anybody have anything? I don't have any food here to give anybody. As Jesus as he was, and he still is so. He owned up, I don't get food in this wilderness. So, disciples, where can we get food? He would have commanded it from heaven now to land. But he owned up. And they discovered that there's a little lad here that had something. Bring it to me. You get the point? Jesus was trying to heal somebody. The eye no grew open. No. The eye didn't open. He spat on. Did it. The guy said, I'm seeing human beings like trees. He did it again. Do you get the point? So there comes a point in the life of a leader that you have to accept your limitations. That's the only way you grow. You get my point?
Okay. There's a lot of fear in the hearts of certain leaders, especially when they make certain mistakes in terms of, like you have rightly said, being accountable for that mistake. But we've heard it now where, as leaders, we should be open to the people that we are leading whenever we make mistakes, right? Okay. Moving on from that now, how can a leader recover credibility after making certain mistakes? Affinity, would you jump on it?
Okay, so like he rightly has said, in the life of every leader, I think there should come to a point where you do a self-reflection, right? So if you make a mistake and of course the people you are leading knew you took this decision and it didn't end well, I don't think it's a time for you to go and hide and wallow in your shame or whatever it's called, right? There is need for communication. If as a leader, one of the basic characteristics you should have is a good communication skill. You should be able to communicate clearly and honestly. Do you get? You should be able to sit the people you are leading down and be honest with them. I think even as a leader, there are points you get to with the persons you are leading that you understand yourself to a certain level. Yes. So even when you make a mistake, they should be able to know that you are human and you are not all perfect. So together, that's why you are a leader. That's why you have persons you are leading. If it's a one-person thing, you won't have them to work with, right? So when you make a mistake, it is time for you to communicate. You guys, like he has earlier said, look for a better method. Learning is a continual process. It's until you've made mistake that you know, oh, this is not working. So let's try another thing. Do you understand? So it's a time for you to communicate with the persons you are leading and then clearly understand yourself. It's not a period for you to be ashamed of. So I don't think there's a point where you should go and hide yourself because you made a mistake. And as he said, there are people you look up to. There are people who are your leaders too. So you can also go to them for clarification, for mentorship when you make mistakes as a leader.
Forgive me. I think for a minute there, I was a bit lost because my mind was already wandering into certain aspects of our discussion. Right. So that's very fine, and it's a very good one. Where she talked about that we should be in communication with the people that we are leading. But then, how do we get people? Africans are not so merciful in this case. So even Nigerians are not merciful because I love the fact that we are.
It's not only in Africa.
It's not only in Africa. Okay, it's not only in Africa.
No.
Okay, so I love the fact that we're saying that we should communicate with the people that we are leading. Somebody makes a mistake. There are people that are not even followers of that person on the internet, and then you have a lot of. So how much more the people that you are leading?
Africans are even very emotional with their leaders. They have these sentiments. Okay.
Sentiment.
Yes, with their leaders. I'll tell you that when you look at the way people, maybe you say the white men, or oversee how they relate with their leaders, they have zero tolerance
Actually.
for error.
Yes.
Check all of them. That is why before you even contest for any election, it may be civilized society, they will dig up the way how you were born, your trajectory. Okay? Any little thing, you are off. They don't have that kind of, because here in our society here is either religious sentiment, tribal sentiment, one sentiment or the other. So they will try to shield that leader. But over there, they don't have any sentiment. They believe that this leader, you before you came up, you should have known. Do you get? How many corrupt politicians have been jailed? Do you know in some parts of the world, not only jail, you face firing squad for corruption. You make any mistake, you resign. How many people resign in Nigeria? Do our elite, do they resign? Political office holders, do they resign? Even in the church, you see, with all due respect, is my constituency, but you see them do all manner. Is anybody accountable here? Is in a same society you have people are held accountable for their errors. You do a little. It may not even be you that did it. It may be people following you.
Yes.
But because you're occupying that position, you'll be asked questions. Some people I know that, in civilized societies, they've resigned because of one error that was committed by their followers, not even them.
Okay, sir. So is this not like when we talk about leadership now, right? I believe that this is one of the reasons why a lot of people shy away from picking up leadership responsibilities because of this aspect.
fear.
Yeah, this fear that when I make a mistake, I'm out of it. So is it that there's a challenge because of the weight of accountability that is accorded every leader? So is there a challenge with that system? Is this something we need to modify or reframe per se? Or is that the standard and that's how it should be?
You see, truth be told, not everybody is going to be a leader.
Interesting.
Very true.
Are they born leaders?
Actually, yes. I was going to.
You see, this question you ask now, whether there are born leaders or leaders are made, there are this school of thought that leaders are born. Another one said leaders
Are made.
I mean,
Both are right. Some leaders are born, some are made. Let me give you an instance. If in a family setting, for instance, I have maybe 4 children, and my third son is the one that will always tell the seniors, let's get this thing done, or daddy will soon come back home. You've not done this, you've not done your homework. Daddy said I should tell you this thing you did is. That's the leader, irrespective of his or her position.
yeah.
You get the point? It could be like 4 or 5 years old, but there is an inherent trait, characteristics of a leader that person was already born with. On the flip side of it, you also have people that over a period of time, by reason of followership, by reason of experience, okay, they've developed leadership skills. A good number of us learned certain things because of the places we found ourselves, the circumstances we found ourselves. Some of us were groomed by others. Some of us were given position of responsibilities by reason of people who have followed. So both are right. Whether you are born with leadership traits, characteristics, but there is one common denominator. As a matter of fact, whether you are born with it or you learned it, as a matter of responsibility, you just have to grow.
We just have to
Grow.
grow.
You must grow in leadership.
What does that entail?
Now, that entails that what you know is not enough. What you are born with is not enough. What you are taught is not enough. You just need to have knowledge, adequate knowledge, substantive knowledge of various aspects of leadership. So if you say that it's just like somebody who has inherent attributes of a good footballer, and you say you will not train, okay. There is need for training. There is need for retraining. You have to learn, unlearn, relearn. Do you get? So that's growth for me in leadership. What you know is not enough, because as you are being exposed, as responsibilities are being given to you at different times, okay, they vary. The responsibility that you handle today, where you are, trust me, as you grow, it's going to be more. If, for instance, I become the governor of my state tomorrow, do you think it's going to be the same ball game? No. So if I've not been able to, learn, grow, I cannot handle it. You need to develop capacity and content. It's very important. Because leadership, the way nature and God designed leadership is that you have to move from one ladder of leadership to the other. Today you may be leading 3, 4, 5 people. And when it's noticed, either by God, environment, society, people, that this person, I need to give you more responsibility. You are taken up there. That is the way it is. So if you remain in your level of knowledge when you are leading maybe in 5 persons, you won't get promoted to the next level of leadership. That's why I said you need to grow in leadership.
So that's a matter of scaling in terms of whilst the people grows also, the wisdom, the knowledge that is required to lead such a team should also grow.
Definitely.
I think that's very important going forward, because we see a lot of leaders where they at a certain point in time in their leadership, they are stuck, right? They get stuck in terms of not knowing the next step to take because of the level where they are at. I want us to look at something again, and I believe, okay, or I think rather that Faith should help us to pick it up from. She's laughing. She has not spoken for some time. Yeah, but I want you to pick up this, right? What are some of the questions that you think that, or answers rather, that you think that an individual must answer before stepping up to lead? As a leader, what do you think are the internal answers that a leader must have? Say, for example, now we make you, okay, we're even in a studio now. Say, for example, now we make you the head of this studio now, right? What are some of those questions that you think you must have answered? Because I think we have established now to an extent that one of the hardest forms of leadership has to be personal leadership. Mr. Ube talked about personal limitations and strengths, right? So that's like personal leadership. So now we are analyzing that personal leadership. What are some of those inner questions that you think that an individual must answer that will help him stand well as a leader in any system?
Okay. I think one of the questions you can ask is, okay, if it's for like an organization, you ask yourself, this position that I'm being placed in right now, what is the purpose? What is the purpose for me being placed here? When you can understand the reason for being placed in that position, then you have a picture of, then the next thing you need to ask yourself is, okay, what is the picture? Where is what is the vision that is in place, right? What's the vision? Then the next thing you ask yourself is, how can I go about carrying out the vision that would help support the purpose for me being here? Let's say now, okay, I have been privileged to be a music director now, right? You ask yourself, okay, why am I here? It's not just to sing, but it's to carry the presence of God, to lead people into worship, right? Then what is the vision? What is the vision? How would I enable that? Not just myself, but each and every individual in that choir unit can meet up, can see the vision that, okay, I'm not here to just sing or to show that I have a very sonorous voice, a very beautiful voice. I'm not just here for that. But this is the vision in place, is that men see Jesus, right? Then what are the steps that we can take to achieve that vision? How can we be excellent in that? What are the steps? What are the things we need to put in place for us to be able to achieve that? So I say, before you step into a position, you ask yourself, what is the purpose for me being here as a leader? What is the vision that I can, how can I bring to life that vision for the responsibility that I've been given? Then what are the steps that I can take to carry out that vision? Who are the people that I need to carry along that can help me achieve that vision? So all these things are very, very fundamental. Then you can also ask yourself the question, who should I become? Who do I need to become as a person for me to be able to achieve that purpose, right? For me to be able to achieve that vision? Because every vision, you cannot achieve there are some visions that you cannot achieve with the current level of that you are in right now. You get? So there's a person you need to become for that vision to be attained. So you have to ask yourself those questions, like, what is the purpose of me being here? What is the vision? Like, okay, let's say I've been given a position as a governor for the next 4 years. What is my vision? What is my vision for the people I have been placed above? What is my vision for them? Is it education? Is it good roads? Is it technology? All right. So if I want the children to, in a particular school, to become educated with technology, okay, how do I go about it? Who are the people that are have been given the strength over technology, right? So all these things, the what, the why, in fact, the why is very fundamental. The why am I doing this? Once you have your once your why is solid and strong, you can go into any form of leadership.
You've made very good points. Have you wondered why, when corporate companies or offices want to advertise for a particular position, they will say requirements, age, academic qualifications, experience, this, that. So they are looking for somebody that will fit into that position. So you look at yourself. They asked for age between so and so. Am I really within that age bracket? And they also asked for academic qualifications. You must have had masters in this and that and that. Is that my area? So before you even get to the office, apply, they've already sent you something to ponder over. You see, it's only in leadership sometimes, especially in our society, that we think, we just allow people that don't even have a grasp of themselves, don't even understand themselves to come and rule us. In animal kingdom, before you lead, you must have been checked and cross-checked. It's only here that humans will just allow idiots, with all due respect, to lead them, especially in our society. Have you wondered why we are, our society has turned to what it is now? It's simple. The people that are leading, they don't have the characteristics that should, on a normal, allow them to lead. So I was watching and I was listening to a former, I think a former Inspector General of Police or so, some time ago, either Inspector General of Police or one of these security people. He went to the National Assembly, either the Senate or so, and he said that he was shocked to have seen somebody that he arrested for armed robbery as a senator in Nigeria.
Wow. Wow.
Do you get the point? So you now discover that you have people with questionable characters occupying positions that they shouldn't in the first place. So back to your question. Faith has done justice to it. But let me add something here. Before you even begin to, think, have this ambition, because people run into problem because of their ambition. You are seeing Kome doing this, you believe I'm going to do it. It doesn't work that way. In those days when God met us, arrested us, and we gave our lives to Christ, that is what we call process of discipleship. You will be groomed, you will be discipled. And one of the benefits of that is that you cannot wake up one day and you say, I want to become this, I want to lead this group. You ask yourself, do you have the requisite characteristics? Are you disciplined enough? Are you accountable? Are you organized? Because you can't organize people and lead when you are not, as a person, you're not even organized. You get the point. I remember those days when the first time I in the church where I was worshiping then and I saw my name as a leader, I went home, I was crying. I asked God, how? Because I looked inwards. You must first of all conquer yourself, lead yourself. You must first of all, be able to look at the mirror. I say, can I do this? Do I have what it takes?
But sir, I have a question. I'm so sorry to digress.
Go ahead.
It's not every time that you can inherently see your capacity. I know that maybe you're talking about in terms of character, but let's digress to a character in the Bible. Say Gideon. When the angel came and told Gideon that he is a mighty man of valor, there is no way Gideon did not foresee it that he could ever be a leader, right?
You know why?
Okay.
He was afraid. It's not like he didn't have the capacity or the ability. If you check the background story of that Gideon stuff,
Yes.
there were people that the Midianites were invading their place. They will go and spray their crops or whatever. They will come there, beat them up, chase them away. And so it was out of fear that he didn't really discover who he was. So it was also out of that fear that made him, when he was asked to lead, he said, how? Me? All these things were born out of fear. But on the flip side of it, what I was trying to explain here is that regardless of, how you see leadership,
Okay.
it's incumbent upon you to check. Even the Bible said something. Before you build a house, you check now whether you have what it takes. I'm not saying that you will not learn on the job. You can.
Okay.
But there is certain inherent or developed skills. Let me ask you a question. You lead in the choir, for instance, and part of your leadership responsibilities is to harness voices, know who sings what, the part, and then you see somebody that is spoiling the whole song, and you call the person to come and lead. There is a level of knowledge that is expected of you, regardless of how you've developed you. So these are the attributes I'm saying that you need to possess. Now, there is an aspect of leadership that people don't even think or look into. Sacrifice. You think it's easy? Do you think it is easy?
A whole lot.
Let me tell you something, my dear. Last week, I was watching Arise News, and a governor, one of these governors in the north, was, telling his people that, look, that he doesn't rest, that they think that anytime he goes to Abuja, that he's going to enjoy his meeting after meeting, keneko. And somebody in the studio was like, excuse you, you never prepared before you came.
Right.
You think he's something
I
you
think
are...
most of them they use the ability they use in leading their homes to come and lead
It's even a wrong perception of what leadership is all about. If he knew that it's about sacrifice, you are not going to talk about how you're going for meetings, staying inside AC car, convoy. No, those things are not
most
necessary.
of them just go for it for the pleasure that comes with
For
it.
what they will gain.
Yes.
Do you know in our own little way of leadership, there are times you have sleepless nights.
Yes.
Okay? There are times... Listen, I hope you know that once you are in a leadership position, just like what Faith rightly pointed out, you are not leading for the sake of leading. There is a targeted either vision,
a
Exactly.
mission,
purpose,
yes.
mission. Do you get that you are now
A slave to.
Do you get? So it's you that is leading, that knows that, hey, I'm going to make sacrifices for this. Do you get? I'm going to make sacrifices. There is one other story. Sorry, I like telling stories.
No, that's fine.
Personal stories, though. And most of them are from my family and friends. Do you get? Because I come from a family that, by God's special grace, we learned one or two leadership skills from our parents, grandparents, like that. There's something my mother said to me decades ago. I was still a teenager. But like I said, you see, position of leadership places very strong demands on you. Most of them, they are not convenient. So you can imagine at that age, I was barely 15, 16. But because my dad was already late, so a lot was expected of me. I was still trying to get into the university. I was still trying to, know my left from my right. But hey, I was still expected to think for others, plan for others because of my disposition. Okay? So my mother called me one day and said to me, what her own father told her elder brother. Now you can imagine that. Waiting concern me. But here I am because of the position. So she needed to, bring that story to me. She said to me that the father told her elder brother that in the line of dance, when the person in front, the lead dancer, misses the step, those behind will miss it. That thing has never left me. I was like, wow. So it now fashioned my thought, my actions, my speech, everything about me. That statement fashioned me. It molded me to know that, if I do this thing now, somebody is behind me watching. Do you get the point? So I started early to take responsibility, to know that leadership requires a lot. You've got to make a lot of sacrifices, my brother. Do you get the point? So when you talk about a leader trying to, why will you even lead if you have not discovered yourself?
Exactly.
What are you leading?
I was going to come to this in a minute, right? Like, so why is self-assessment so important for a leader? Why is digging deep into who you are? Why is it so important for leadership, I think?
Okay, just like he has rightly said, right? If you miss a step, every other person behind you would miss that step. So if you yourself as a leader, you've not assessed yourself to know if you are fit for that leadership position, the moment you do something wrong, just be ready to know that every other person will do that same thing wrong, directly or indirectly, because you are the one leading them. So it's expected that behind closed doors, when nobody's seeing you, do a self-review. How am I personally? Aside the things you are telling these persons do, don't do, this, how are you behaving in your closet? What's your character like in your environment? Who do people know you to be? Do you understand? It's important you assess yourself, especially we that are in the Christian bodies. You won't be in church and be telling people do this, and at home you are the troublemaker in your environment.
Faith is a troublemaker. So yeah, she's a very.
That's why me, I'm avoiding leadership position now. I want to enjoy my life. You understand?
What do you mean by that?
No.
I want to enjoy my. I think I've
you see,
sacrificed. That's what he said. Sacrifice. I'll do it too much.
Not
I want to
only
enjoy my life.
You see, there's another thing. You see, this thing you are shying away from. You can't run away. You know why? But it's hard. You know why you can't run away? When you are passionate. For instance, now, Faith, I've known you. Okay, you are very passionate about
Carrying
singing
people
unto the
along
Lord,
and-
in the choir and all that. Do you know something? More often than not, what motivates a leader is not the people. It's the vision. It's what you are looking at.
The picture that you see.
The picture you are seeing. Other people may not see it. Do you get? I have this friend of mine, lovely, wonderful guy. But you see, he has worked with me for years. I discovered that he is not to be in the forefront of leadership. You know, there are people like that. But backstage, he will give you all
Everything you need.
that you need as a leader. Do you get my point? So, at any point he's placed on that front, there are things that he will do or say that will be counterproductive. One of the things that a leader, anyhow, anywhere you want to get it, please go and get it, is courage. You need courage. You know why you need courage? There are decisions that you have to take dispassionately, regardless of whose ox is God. As far as it's going to be progressive, as far as it's going to be to the, it will bring not only progress, benefit. You've seen that it's going to move this vision forward. You should be able to step on toes, regardless of whose toes it is. Do you get? So I told him one day, I said, you know what you are going to do? If you want to be a leader, prepare your mind. Otherwise, go and sell ice cream. Because it's only an ice cream seller that wants to please everybody.
Actually.
That's the truth. I'm not an ice cream seller. I am a leader. I have taken certain decisions that went against my closest friends.
I know some.
Okay. So I took it not because of hatred, not because of personal aggrandizement, not because of self-glory, but because there is an assignment we have to get done. There is a vision we are looking at. So if I get into sentiment or emotion because of somebody, we'll miss it. So you have to have the courage to take tough decisions.
You have to be ruthless.
Do you get the point? So in that aspect, it's important that you know that, look, okay, you've developed courage. You are brave to say, I know that. Let me tell you something. This young man sitting here, I've taken certain decisions that went against my mother. That went against my loved ones. But at the end of the day, I came back and said,
Yeah.
thank you.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. So as a leader, when we talk about looking eternally, look inwards. Do not accept something you know that you don't have the capacity to do, the responsibility. Take it one step after the other. That is where you place me now in leadership, I'll falter because I have not developed the capacity to go there. You get the point? So it's important that you know. For instance, there are people that are not just like why Faith is trying to run away. They don't want to hurt anybody. They don't want to, do you even know that the most criticized people are leaders?
Definitely.
So if you don't have the toughness
To stand, even
to
within-
stand, any little thing will break you down. So you need to develop, you need to look inward and say, if I quarrel with this person now, you're not going to talk to me. And you know you are doing the right thing. I have been in leadership position where somebody that, ordinarily is my ally in business, that is supposed to give me funds, we do business together, and he went contrary to the rules. I stepped him down. I said, you can't do this. You get the point? So it's something that if you don't have it, please build it. Otherwise, you discover that you become what we call Baba's chair. They push you this way, you go this way. They push you this way. You are not decisive. And as a leader, you have to be very decisive.
Yeah.
Very, very decisive when it matters most. Do you get? Let me give you an instance of something. Some years back, there is this program we organizing, and I was privileged to be at the helm of leadership to see to that program. I did everything humanly possible. As in, I was having sleepless nights. I wasn't even remembering food. And then the person that gave me that responsibility on the day of that function, on that occasion, we all came, and I just left to have my bed. Within that space of time, the person showed up at the venue. I wasn't there. So he called, where am I? They said, I just left here now. So by the time I came, he dressed me down. He dressed me down. Say, what are you doing? He said a lot. And people were there. In my mind, I was broken. But I had the Spirit of God say something to me. No person, no leader is appreciated as at when needed. That is why there is, what is called delayed gratification.
Yes.
As a leader, you should know that it's not when you desire it that it will come. And you should also be aware of the dangers of praises, accolades. Now, in the course of that function, because God helped us, the program was lovely and wonderful. The same person called me aside and shook me and said, UBA, you did very well. So if I hadn't that mindset, that regardless of the criticisms, I should be able to hold my own, I would have broken down. I would have maybe left the place. Do you get the point? So it's something that you need to see. Leadership is prepared for. Leadership is prepared for. Leadership is trained for. No matter how you think you can lead, you need to prepare. There are times how you even know whether you are ready is test the waters now. Test the waters. For instance, you are not the kind of person that keeps to time.
Faith to seeker.
Please, Gomez, stop that, please. Please stop.
And you know that your lifestyle, I battled with one, hot temper. I battled with it to a point that I had to go to God severally. I said, God, you see this? Because one other aspect of leadership that is difficult, it's when you have people that are slow in grasping what you are doing, in understanding. How do you motivate such people?
I
Change it
can
for them.
So I've been privileged to have such people. Okay? You say this,
They teach you patience.
you say another one,
What?
they are not getting it.
They teach you patience.
Are you going to leave the person out of the picture? No. You just have to be patient, tolerant. Okay, so I've had periods where I just flared up. Boom. Saying, are you daft? Can't you?
Sir, you're not the only person. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel
So
guilty.
what I'm saying is that beyond feeling guilty or not feeling guilty,
Yeah.
you should also work on yourself.
Yes.
That's,
You should work on yourself. You get the point? Now, look at, I've had instances where temper, in fact, it was even where I derived my, slogan. These days I could just say, you be coming down now. Be coming down. If you know, you have knowledge of football. Zinedine Zidane, then he was one of the best footballers in the world. But one action out of anger
Ended the career.
made him lose a lot. Do you get? So there are people like that. Is it Moses? They tell you, say, talk to stone, you go carry something, flog him.
And he missed. He
Anger.
missed.
And
he
that
missed the
anger,
blessing.
if you trace the history of Moses, that anger issue is not just about him. You trace it to his genealogy
yeah.
from his grandfather, like that. So you need to also understand that there are things to deal with. And the most common among leaders is pride. So all these things are things you need to have always check yourself. That's why I said, look in the mirror always. You should do that. If you don't, you will crash.
Very well.
You will crash. But we live in a society where our leaders just do whatever they want. They get away with it. Nobody, no accountability. Their shoulders are all high. So who the hell do you think you are? Do you know me? So nobody cares. But in the real sane world, leaders are people that are subjected to personal, at any point in time, personal review. Do you get? You look inward. What are you doing
Introspection.
right? You just have to keep. We are not perfect, but you just have to keep improving in your character first. Because what are you displaying out there? You just have to look inwards. So if you leave yourself unchecked, people will check it for you, or
Yes.
situation will check it for you. And trust me,
It will be bad.
it's not going to be a good story.
I think this personal review thing, helping to shape our character, it makes it very easy for us to gain respect and loyalty from the persons we are leading.
Yeah.
Because if you are left unchecked, you are not reviewing yourself to know where you have gone wrong, what you are not doing right, especially in this anger issue. If you're the kind of person that is always flaying up every time, your subordinates will just be looking at you up and down. Nobody would understand what you're trying to communicate, even when you are right. So it's expected that we keep our characters in check. With that, respect will flow, loyalty will flow effortlessly without you having to push it.
Exactly. It's something that learning is very important, and surround yourself with people that will look you in the eyes and said, "This you did is wrong." Mentors, friends, associates, do you get that will look at you and said, "You missed it here." Just look at what is happening around churches.
A lot of persons are very
Do you know why?
unaccountable.
Do you know why? You know why these things are going on? Is a character that was left unchecked. Do you get the point? Because when you get to that point, there are banana peels. So it takes somebody that has, been processed. You've gone through training. So you know when this apple, you're not supposed to eat it. This route, I don't supposed to go through it. You think people are not checking you. You think people don't know. They are watching you. But you see, our society has made it in such a way that people do anything and get away with it. And you say you are a leader. What are you leading? If you are not able to not only even lead people to achieve a common goal or a set assignment, how many people can look at you and say you are their role model? When we set a vision, for instance, when we set a goal, for instance, I can organize 4 of us and I say, okay, we are going to do this, we are going to do that, please. And then I will lead because I believe in a hands-on leadership. Hands-on. See what I do, follow me and do. Do you get? And then we're able to achieve that. How many of you will say, I'm going to follow this man, I'm going to look up to him because of his character, not because of achievement. That this person is humble, this person has the courage I'm looking for, this person I've learned this, there is wisdom here, there is capacity here. Not because of what we have achieved together, no, but because of the character he has exhibited in the course of achieving that. That is more important in leadership than achieving any set goal. But that is an aspect that nobody wants to look into. Our own is all because of ambition and because I have what it takes to get this thing done. Okay.
Sincerely, because truth is, there most leaders don't know that a lot of persons have stopped living a particular life because of one way they've influenced them, with or without their knowledge. So
Okay,
it's either you are influencing this person badly or in a good way.
Okay, so
That's why I don't want to be a leader, so I can live my life. You know how to live it. You understand? Nobody should look up to me. Look down. Don't look up to me. I want to live my life.
You know that
You
this
know
is
what other thing? You know what other thing,
necessary.
Faith? You know what other thing is that you can also, if for whatever reason, that you don't want to be in the forefront there, you can also have that influence at the backstage.
Yes.
Do you get? We don't need to be at the forefront.
Yes.
Leadership is not really about who is in the front. When we talk about influence, motivation, okay, organization, that's about leadership. So you can be at the backstage, but you are offering tangible aspects of that whole vision that people will not forget about you. So at any point in time, you are offering something that moves the vision forward. You are influencing people one way or the other.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I said this to the glory of God. I don't know whether I should say this. I have more children out of wedlock, not biological. People that have just said to me, I want you to be my dad. They have their biological fathers. Not because I give them money. It has nothing to do with material things. But they have watched this person and know that by God's grace, there is something about him that I can tap into. Do you get? There's something about him that I can gain from. And so it's not necessarily when you think that it's about influence, positive influence. It's about motivation. Like there are certain things I missed growing up. My son now, who is in the university, things I missed, my mistakes growing up when I was in his age. You think I'm going to allow him to make such mistakes? I usually sit him down and say, bros, sit down. See this one? No. See this one? You see this thing you are exhibiting like, including how to handle a female friend.
Sharp.
I'm being honest. I've taught him so much that, when he made certain mistakes in the past about a friend, a female friend at that age, I said, are you okay? This is what to do. This is what to do. This is what to do. This is how to handle a woman. And so I've started, imbibing in him that as a man, this is what is expected of you as far as a female is concerned. So he's learning. And he's now trying to let me understand that, okay, Dad, I've put this into practice. It's working. I'm a proud dad.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Do you get the point?
Yes, sir.
But when I was in his age, I made mistakes as it has to do with the subject matter. As far as relationship is concerned, I'm building him to a point that he's going to be a good husbandman.
Hell. Umuna, clock it.
Do you get the point? I don't want him to make mistakes that I made. There are certain aspects, even his academics, making money.
Yes.
It's a total thing. So when you look at leadership from the point of influence and motivation, do you know that there are people that don't have the kind of grace, the tenacity that you have? They come to church, you see them smile, but when they go home, they are down there, they are broken. It's not about food to eat. Maybe it's about the confusion that has so much engrossed them that they don't even know their left from their right. As a leader, how do you look at that person? Is your responsibility to know that, Kome, no, this is not Kome. Come, sit down, talk to me. Leadership is about guidance, counseling. It's just like when you sent me something the other day. I intentionally kept quiet. There's something I asked him, he answered me, and he sent me a voice note. Did I reply you? I didn't reply you.
Not yet.
You know why? It's not something I'll be exchanging on phone with you. I will sit you down. You need to convince me why you took that decision. That is about that.
I will, sir. I will.
Sorry to cut you short. I was telling him the other day, I saw him with somebody. I said, Kome, who is this? He said, I looked at him.
Come here, you go explain.
You know why? I may be wrong, I stand to be corrected. The extent I've known Kome, I think if I see him with somebody that is not commensurate with Kome, I'll tell Kome, don't go there. That is why leadership is important in every sphere of life, whether family, whether among friends, whatever, is important. Some of us are where we are today. We would have been better because there was no structured leadership to tell you, to guide you, do this, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. And so we struggled over a period of time to find our feet. Even there is this identity crisis we have suffered over years because there was nobody to tell you, this is who you are, this is where you're going. So everything we learned through either experience, study, or looking at another person. Whereas if you have a leader, it's easier. If you have a mentor, you have a leader, it's easier. The road he has been through, he knows. So when they are walking through that road, that route, he will tell you, this is the deep, pothole. This is what to avoid. This is what to avoid. You think all the pastors that they're accusing that slept with girl, if they had subjected themselves to discipline and under a mentor that is not like that, you think they would have done it? But because they felt that, okay, I'm this now, nobody will talk to me. But the banana peel has brought you down. Do you get the point? So, and that is also why for me, it's important that every person, you see the role of a father to a child, the importance can never be overemphasized.
At all.
If you don't have a father, please look for a father figure. Look for a guardian. Look for somebody that you can look up to that can tell you to your face, don't do this. This is the way to go. Is it not the Bible that said that our teachers should not be far from us? and we'll hear a voice behind us saying, this is the way.
to go. Walk through it.
So if you don't have that kind of person in your life, you're just living a life of trial and error. You fall today, you rise tomorrow, you do this today. Complicity is here and there.
Very true.
So it's important for me. I believe that God has positioned leaders. He has trained leaders. He's still training leaders. You will meet them, okay? But you need to also recognize them in your life to learn. It takes humility. There are people I'm learning even in their absence. But we live in a society where everybody will say, it's my life. It's my life. Your decision is personal, but the consequences are not personal.
It's even more crazier these days,
It
right?
is.
There are certain questions that on a normal day people should be accountable for. But now you ask even certain little questions, you say it's personal.
Like
Yeah.
what? What kind of questions?
It's personal. Easy questions. What's this in your life? Or what's your plan for this? I
Let
say
me-
it's personal.
Or
What's this
you
and what-
even did something and somebody is asking you, you say, hey, is it your
it's
business?
personal.
personal.
This
It's
is
my
personal
life.
thing. I had this experience with my brother yesterday. My little brother. He used to stay in Nasarawa. I had to beg my mom. He should come to Abuja. He's clocking 20. So I needed him to set up something for himself. We arranged a job for him. He was supposed to go for interview on Monday. It was shifted for yesterday. Before I would do 1 or 2, I remember this boy was supposed to go for an interview. When I asked him, it was in the night. I said, what happened to the interview you're supposed to go for today? That he changed his mind. Why? It's personal. I almost went mad.
You can imagine that.
How?
It's personal.
It's
What's personal about
Immediately,
that?
my mommy said he's going back to Nasarawa. I was like, look at it. Will take this boy a lot of time for him to realize.
Take care.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it, right? Parting words from Mr. UBA and then our very own Afiniki. So at this point, I think it's safe to summarize, and I think it's safe to say that one take home from all that has been talked about is the fact that leadership is not about positions. It's not about being in front. It's not about titles, right? But it is about a state of the heart. It is about understanding the place of influence. I truly believe that the subject of leadership should be studied and understood by every single person. I don't care whether people say it's for those who were born with it or not. Because case in point, right? When we drive out now, even on the express, Abuja, we did it very well. I'm driving maybe 70 kilometers per hour. The car behind me is tailing me right behind me. And then I asked myself one of these days, I said, what would happen if I press the brakes of this car now? So it's very interesting that I don't know how many persons are in the car behind me. I don't know what race they are from. I don't know what country they are from or what ethnic society group they are from. But then my action at that point in time has the ability to influence that person's life behind me, even though I don't know the person. So we see, so if that can happen for an adverse effect, how much more when it is for a positive effect? So we must understand, each and every person must understand that the subject of leadership is one that should be learned and studied by everybody because it is woven into the very little facet of our lives. The great man Miles Monroe said everything rises and falls by leadership. Our society will get better, our families will get better, our lives would get better when we understand the concept of leadership. This is where we draw the curtains for this session. We would pick it up in terms of, we've not even handled, there was a questionnaire that was sent out before this episode. We've not jumped on that. And we,
Exhausted
At
the
all.
time.
Yes.
and we need to draw the curtains here. So we would pick it up. Maybe we can do a meeting
That's fine.
to pick that up. But from all of us right here in the studio today, this is where we draw the line for this session. Thank you. I hope that you have learned something. Do well to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.